back to my channel, guys. So in today's video, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about living abroad. For me, my experience with living abroad would be living in Spain. As some of you may know, if those are the ones like my people who know me personally and people who have been on my channel from the beginning, know that I am currently living in Spain. I am the English teacher here, so I've been living here for that. So I decided to do a video, Q&A video, of answering some questions about what it's like living abroad, the differences, and some of the places, about some questions about travel. So please stay tuned and continue watching. Okay, so in the spirit of being in Spain and living in Spain, we're going to drink some sangria while doing this Q&A. So I asked on all my social media. Dang, I only have about 8 questions, which I think is, you know, a pretty good amount. I don't want to make the video too long, so let's just jump right into it. Okay, so the first question we have is, how is the food? I think the food is pretty good. I don't eat out that much, so I can't really say how good it is or not. For the most part, I just cook all my stuff. So yeah, but I think the meats are, well, the chicken and the meat are maybe fresher, not fresher, but probably like grass-fed and stuff like that. They aren't as many pesticides. I will say, like in regards to the ground beef, like I don't really care for how the beef tastes. Because it does taste different, but it is a lot leaner than the ground beef and the other beef in the States. So I think, like I said, the food is pretty good here, but for the most part, I just cook at home. But as far as like the different countries that I've traveled in and around Europe, overall, the food is pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. The next question says, do you speak Spanish, and did you learn Spanish before moving? So yes to both of those. I do speak Spanish. I wouldn't say I'm fluent in Spanish, but I definitely speak it enough to get by every day. And did I study Spanish? Yes, I studied Spanish in college. Next question. What do you miss the most? This is gonna sound so bad because it's not deep. I'm not gonna say family, friends, my life. I mean I miss it, but I don't miss it the most. The thing that I miss the most is food. And when I say the food, because like I just said, the food here is pretty good. When I say the food, I mean all the bad food, all the food that is not good for you. Like it hits me in the moments. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, dang, I really want a Rice Krispie treat. Or like I'll wake up and be like, dang, I really want some Cinnabon. Like it's all the bad food that I don't need to eat that it hits me every now and then that I miss it. Honey buns, cinnamon rolls, what else did I say? Rice Krispie treats. I mean, ice cream sandwiches, those are not a thing here. Like anyway, don't get me started. That's the stuff that I miss. When I say I miss the food, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, okay. So what do you prefer about living in Spain? That's a really good question. What I'd say I prefer about living in Spain would be, I don't know, I think the state of mind here in Spain, I guess, and maybe in Europe in general, is just a lot freer than in the States. Like in the States, everything is a competition. Everything is a competition, and if you don't have this certain level of success, or you don't have these certain material things that people deem that you need to have successful, like everything is such a competition, and that stuff really weighs on you to try to achieve all of those things. But like here, it's just so much freer. Like people don't really care what everybody else has going on. Like that's none of your business. Like I'm not in competition with the next person. Like to me, now that could just be my opinion, they really might be in competition, but the lifestyle to me doesn't appear that way. They seem to be just everybody's just content with where they are. Of course, they're looking to achieve, to go to higher levels, but they're not upset that this is where they are. They're like, okay, this is where I am. That's fine. One day, we'll get there. Like, it's not I hope I'm explaining this right, but I just feel like it's not a biggest pressure on the people or on me. Let me speak for myself. Not as big as pressure on me to have these certain lifestyle or life achievements that are deemed important in the States. I also think that the work-life balance here is much better than in the States. I know for myself, there was no life. Like, you work. Here, like, people, they work, but when they have their time off, they have their time off. There's like always like holidays and like little breaks, and like they really take the time to enjoy themselves. The work-life balance is much better here. Like, they work, and then they rest. Like, period. Even like on Sundays, everything is closed. You're not going nowhere on Sundays, so you're gonna make sure that you're in the house relaxing. Another thing that I really like about Spain is the public transportation. Like, I know in the States, like I said, you have to have a car, period. Like, well, I know where I live. In Atlanta, public transportation is toe up, period. Like, there's barely any public transportation. Yeah, there's the MARTA in like the city. And like in Cobb, where I live, there's like the CCT, but nobody's riding the CCT, and barely anybody's riding the MARTA. Like, you have to drive, you have to have a car. But here, public transport is huge, like, and it's so inexpensive, so it just really just makes sense for you to ride the bus or the train or the tram, whatever is available. And another thing that's probably like the biggest thing that I prefer about Spain versus the States is the cost of living. To me, I just seems like the cost of living is much more affordable. Everything's so cheap. Like, I can go to the grocery store, and I literally just went to the grocery store and I spent $30 on a bunch of food that's gonna last me like a week and a half. And in the States, $30 $30 is not going to get me anything, like barely anything. So I think the cost of living is much cheaper here as well. The next question, what don't you like? Okay, so it's like the reverse. What do you prefer about living in Spain, and what don't you like about living in another country? I don't like the operating hours of certain businesses. Like, the banks close at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. What? I get off work at 2:30, so now what? Now I can't go to the bank Monday through Friday. I don't understand why they close so early. I don't get it. That's just me. I don't like how the operating hours of certain things. The banks close too early. Like I said, on Sunday, everything is closed. I can't go to the grocery store. So if I forget to go to the grocery store on Saturday, on Sunday I'm going to starve because everything's closed. But that's just here in the town that I'm in right now, which is called Murcia. In Madrid, stuff was open on Sundays. Like, I could still go to the grocery store and like stuff was still open on Sundays. But here, no, not gonna happen. Another thing that I don't like, cigarettes. Like, I know people in the States smoke cigarettes. Like, I know this, it's a fact. But I don't know the statistics, so don't quote me on this. But I think that people in Europe smoke more cigarettes because it is ridiculous. They smoke everywhere. I walk down the streets, everybody's smoking. Smoke everywhere. And I hate cigarettes. I hate the smell. Like, they even have the cigarettes here where like you have to roll them yourself. Like, do you know how dedicated a smoker you have to be to sit there and roll your own tobacco and still smoke it? Like, you're seriously addicted to that cigarette if you're going to sit there and roll it yourself and then smoke it. Like, I would just be like, hey, okay, this is not for me. But no, everybody smokes cigarettes. Cigarettes everywhere. Cigarettes. So I hate it. The next question is, does Italy really have good pizza? You guys are gonna hate me. But to me, I'm so used to American pizza, like Pizza Hut, Papa John's, like fast food, like ordering pizza. So that when I came to Europe and I tried pizza in Italy, it didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. Like, there's no sauce. Like, that's not a thing. Tomato sauce is like not really on the pizza. And it's mostly all like flat crust pizza, because like that's the traditional way to make it. So I'm not saying that it's not good, but I'm not saying that it's delicious. To me, it's just okay. I would prefer pan pizza from Pizza Hut or Papa John's over the, traditional Italian pizza. I'm sorry. But yes. The next question is, how many countries have you traveled to, and what's your favorite? I'm counting. I haven't been to as many countries as I would like, to be honest. Yeah, so there's that. But in total, but this is just overall. In total, I've been to, in my life, 10 countries. Since I've been living in Spain, I've been to 5. 5 or 6. And my favorite place so far, my favorite country has been Greece. I loved Mykonos. Like, that has been my number one trip, like number one. I went to Mykonos, as I just said, and if you haven't already, I did make a travel vlog about Mykonos, so go ahead and check that out as well. I loved it. It was gorgeous. The weather was perfect. The people were nice. The food was great. Like, 10s all across the board. It was just perfect. Like, I loved it. And then for it to be my first solo trip, like, I went there by myself, didn't know anybody, and I still had a good time. It was great. So yes, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Greece by far has been my favorite trip, a favorite country. And the next question is, it says, what's up with the men's? Nothing. Like, there's nothing up with the men's for me. Okay, they are not checking for me, so I am not checking for them. I did do some online dating last year when I was in Madrid. I did, like Tinder and Bumble, and went on some dates or whatever. But no, it just wasn't for me. It's just I'm looking for a husband. I'm trying to get married. I want a serious relationship. And those types of apps are just for hooking up. Okay, so the next question is, what's grocery shopping like, and do I have to change up my meals? I already touched on this when I talked about like the cost of living. Basically, grocery shopping is super cheap. I love it. Like, I could spend like $20 a week to get the food I need for the week, and like, so each month that's about $80 a month. So it's unbelievable cheap. Like, I love it. And do I have to change my meals? Not really, because like, I just cook the basic things: spaghetti, chicken, broccoli, salmon. I just cook nothing fancy. So no, I don't have to change up my meals. And so that was all the questions that I got asked. One thing I do want to talk about is like the biggest thing that I've learned about being abroad, and like whether I would recommend it to anybody else. Like, the biggest thing for me is that you have to be okay being by yourself, like being on your own, being alone. You have to be okay with that in order for this lifestyle to work for you. Like, if you like always being around your family and friends, you're like a people person, this might not be the lifestyle for you. Like, because you literally are in another country by yourself. Like, unless you're moving with your significant other or you're moving with your family, then okay. But if you're moving by yourself, then you really have to be okay with being by yourself. And that's the biggest thing, like, it's taught me, is that I'm okay on my own. Like, I know that I'm fine with nobody else. And so yeah, if you guys have any more questions about like my lifestyle here abroad, or like travel questions or anything, just leave them down in the comment section below. I will reply back to you. And thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.